Well, it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Evan Clark. Woo! So, if you told me that somebody was going to simultaneously be the president of their student government and the president of an SSA affiliate group, I would have told you, wow, that is going to be one incredibly remarkable individual, no doubt. If you then went on to tell me that the first person to accomplish this would be doing it at a parochial institution, I would have written you off as a crazy person. Nonetheless, that is exactly what Evan has managed to accomplish, and he is going to tell us what this literally, not 1 in a million experience, this literally 1 in, 6.9 billion experience is like. So I won't take any more of his time. Please join me in welcoming Evan.
Awesome. I personally want to thank you all for coming on behalf of the campus, because I can speak for them. Really, it's meant a lot to a lot of people, especially in the religious community here at CLU, that we are hosting this. And we've heard a lot of really cool things. Okay, and I've heard a lot of really positive feedback from a really diverse group of people about this, and I'll explain why they're so excited about this. So to start off, introduce myself. I am Evan Clark. I am graduating in 2011. That's this May. I am currently the president of the Secular Student Alliance here on campus. I helped start it roughly 3 years ago, officially became a club 2 years ago, and I'm currently the student body president on campus. I am an atheist, and I love my school. So, this is the question I get daily by most of you, by most religious people, you name it. Part of having this position, part of going to this school, and part of being the most well-known atheist at this school includes having to answer this. And so I'll go through this with you, and it should be really easy because a lot of people pick schools for these reasons. It's in California. There are 3 words in the name of this school, and it happens to be first for a reason. And we happen to be in one of the best parts of California. We have 300 days of sunshine, and you picked the bad one. But really, it's gorgeous. There's no complaints about it. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, and not going back. Size, I was from a very, very small high school. We had roughly 100 kids in my graduating class. I was in a town of 5,000 people, so this is a city to me. And this school is much larger than my high school, and it was perfect for me. It's just what I was looking for. When I looked at schools, I looked in Southern California, a size between 2,000 and 5,000, and tennis team. Those are my 3 major things I looked at. So I picked out a bunch of schools in Southern California specifically, Occidental, Pepperdine, University of San Diego, Whittier, Chapman, and I threw Cal Lutheran on the list. At first, I was very hesitant. It does have Lutheran in the name. I don't know if you noticed. And I've been calling myself an atheist since 6th grade because that's when I learned what the word was. I've been non-religious. I've not believed actively in gods or a God since 1st grade after Catholic school. But when I got out here, blew my mind. This is a gorgeous campus, this is an open-minded campus, and it is going places. I hope you all get a chance to walk around after on Sunday because this is a beautiful campus. We have broken ground or had an opening ceremony of a building for 11 straight years in a row now. This school is putting itself on the national map very quickly, and we're only 50 years old. So. Tennis team, I was on the tennis team freshman year, and so I was partially recruited for that. Inviting feeling, I can't explain it. I think you would have to feel it. But when you walk around this campus, there is this sense of welcomeness. So when you come on a tour, and almost everyone that took a tour at this campus can relate to that, you feel pretty welcome immediately. And I felt welcome as an atheist, which was one of the biggest things I was looking at, especially knowing that it was a Lutheran school. Also not knowing anything about Lutheranism, but That's changed. And liberal arts, I like that because I had no clue what I was looking for scholastically in school, and they gave me a great scholarship. But isn't it a religious school? Yes, it is a religious school. And just to check out how religious it is, we'll go to the website, because that solves every answer. And if you go to About CLU, I can read to you exactly how religious we are. So, founded in 1959, Cal Lutheran is part of a 500-year-old tradition of Lutheran higher education, a tradition that expects you to ask the big questions and find your own answers, encouraging critical inquiry into matters of both faith and reason. CLU is dedicated to excellence at the undergraduate and graduate levels. So for a lot of people, that's not a very religious statement. And for a lot of people, maybe in this room, that is a very religious statement. I think it's designed to do that. It is what you make it. This school is perfect for you if you want it to be religious. This place is perfect for you if you want it to be secular. And that is one of the biggest draws about this university. And we have a great equal opportunity statement, but that's a different topic. So yes, it's religious. We still have a lot of religious tradition. During our graduation in May, for those of you that are seniors, we will have pastors reading devotionals. We have frequent services on campus, and there are no classes during that time, so everyone has the option to go, but no one is forced to go. The only thing religiously, if you even want to say it, is that we have to do on this campus is take a Religion 100 class, Intro to Christianity. And frankly, I think everyone in the world should. It is basically an intro to religions class, and you finally get to learn about religion. You get to educationally. We are an education institution first. We are not a religious institution first. We are religiously affiliated. So yes, we're religious. And so to kind of kick up how we got started, freshman year, I met Sam and a bunch of other people, and we got inspired to start a club on campus. And, a lot of us very scared. Oh my God, what's this going to be like? It is a religious school, but we don't know how religious, and blah. But it turned out we quickly became a club. We quickly found out we were all really good leaders in a club like this. And quickly we found out we're a different kind of club than most secular clubs around the country. In order to bond with the religious atmosphere we're in, because we're not opposed to it, we all chose to come to this school, we actively engage with religion. We go out and go to a Lutheran service, a Catholic Mass, a pagan ritual, an Islamic mosque, and we participate in their service and then come back and discuss it. We bring the atheists to you. And it sounds weird, but really, we've created bonds better than you can ever imagine. This is our third year in a row. We went to a pagan ritual here in Thousand Oaks. We are, the only students that get to interact with a group like that. And it's beneficial for both parties. So that's a whole other talk I can give you. But we did successfully start the club, and we took off. Each year we've grown. Each year we've grown our budget. Each year we've grown our outreach and presence on campus. And these are our t-shirt design, if any of you are interested in paying for one. But my story was a little different, because the reason I was, I think, good at leadership was all the other things I was doing on campus. I became an RA on campus. I was on student government freshman, sophomore, junior year. I also did Pres Host for a bit, which are the tour guides on campus, actively involved in other clubs where I could. It's a small school. We can do that and survive. But really, I laid down a really strong foundation for where I was at this university and where my leadership was at this university. And to me, after 3 years in government, the next logical step for me in order to give back the most positive impact to the school was to run for president. So I finally did make the decision to run for this, which was very difficult for me. I sometimes believe very strongly in the philosopher kings, and I don't think I live up to that standard all the time. But I did make the decision to run for president, and these are some of the posters I ran on, and it was fun. I've never had to really campaign before. Our elections are an oddity, I would say, on our campus. Some Some people don't notice they happen. Some people are so pissed off by all the Facebook invites, they're ready to rip someone's head off. But I had a lot of fun with it because you get to interact with so many people, and you get a week to campaign. You're not allowed to campaign any longer than that. I literally think I knocked on 95% of the doors on campus. And it's such an amazing experience. Learned so much about the school, and really framed where I wanted to further the university where I could. And so that was my final, like, hey, vote, cute. Okay. Was it controversial? Short answer, yes. There were other candidates running, okay. 3 tall white males, but I won't get into that. And yeah, it was controversial for one reason. I had a bunch of alumni writing me. Oh my God, you're an atheist. You're running for this, right? How's the student body handling this? Like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. Jesus, just threw my name in the race. Haven't heard anything yet, So I had a bunch of alumni recently graduated that didn't think the university was ready for it yet. I had a few people questioning, like, how are you going to fulfill your duty if you're not religious? Like, you realize the guy before me was a Baptist, and anyways. Runoff, I didn't win the first election straight out. You need to get at least 50% of the vote to win the election. I got 45% of the vote. The guy in second got 23-ish% of the vote. And the last guy got disqualified, but still got 22 as a write-in. I know those numbers are wrong. But so I didn't win. So I had to go to a runoff election. And to tell you who I was in a runoff election against, this was my best friend and roommate for my freshman and sophomore year. Yeah, he was a little, I won't get into it. But so controversy, definitely small school, running against your best friend in a runoff election. And then a recall, the guy that was disqualified in the original election decided that the reason he was disqualified for it was crap. And so if you get 10% of the university to petition for a recall, it then can be brought to the student body for a vote. And then I won the runoff election. So after 2 elections, I pretty much won both of them. This university then has to vote on if they want to recall the first election, bringing us back to square one. I won't tell you what happened to my grades that semester, but and ultimately, to pass a recall, you need at least 2/3 of those that vote to vote for it, and it did not reach that 66% threshold, and so I won 3 elections. But you're all wondering, and everyone asks, was it controversial because you're an atheist? How did the student body handle it? It wasn't, and that was the cool part. Nobody came up to me and said, I'm not voting for you. No one went up to any of my friends and said, I'm not voting for him, or I'm comfortable with this because he's an atheist. That means in the public atmosphere of this conversation, we have reached a word I also don't like, tolerance, but is also a good step to where we know it's been in the past. This university, especially hearing from the alumni, we are leagues ahead of where we used to be. And it's a beautiful thing, and I'm so happy for that the university didn't make a big deal out of it. I won for secular reasons. Okay, so then it's like, oh, well, you're president now. What goes on? Well, I learned very quickly there's things you shouldn't say. So my Facebook's where I usually say what I shouldn't. And it's only been 1 month since I've won. And some things I can accept about religious traditions, but nothing is as useless as prayer, I put on my Facebook. Some of you might think, oh, that's not even that bad, And I related it to an article about Louisiana lawmakers that proposed a bill to have a day of prayer to fix the BP oil spill because they thought that might be a logical answer. And so naturally I'm like, oh yeah, prayer, that's going to help. That's the last thing that'll help. That's useless. Well, everybody took it as prayer is useless, like completely out of context, basically. And so you're attacking my personal choice of prayer. You can't tell me I don't get value from it. And that's a fair statement. But man, that also follows up with you're my president. You shouldn't be saying these things. And that was new. That's an experience you learn very quickly when you join a representative position like I have. So started off rocky. Other things happened, though. I got invited to speak at a local bilingual Lutheran church. They had their 98th anniversary, and they're well connected with CLU. An alumni asked me to come speak on behalf of the university, basically encourage these at-risk youth to look at college as an option. Really neat. I suddenly become this connector for the university in church settings. I never expected myself speaking at churches. But it was great. That's a religion professor, Julia Fogg, who's also a pastor there. That was a great experience. But what really helped everything was this conference. I have never heard more buzz about me being president at this school or this club on campus until we decided we're going to bring this conference. And the best part was the university backed us up 100%. So we didn't hear... I didn't get anything from the administration but support. I got contacted by media services, and they created this press release for us. This is on the university website. So for those of you that read about it in the Ventura County Star, thank Cal Lutheran, not us. So again, great things have happened with this. And I have a lot of pride for my school, especially for these reasons. They've embraced me as a diverse leader on this campus as opposed to theological opposition. And it shows a lot about this school. It shows a lot about this student body. And I add diversity to campus. Professors use me as their example of diversity on campus. Tour guides use me as their example of diversity on campus. Because almost every question they get by a prospective student is how religious it is. We don't take the Lutheran out of our name for a reason. We're very happy with the Lutheran tradition of higher education. It is strong in the ability to question things. I agree with that. I'm a huge supporter of that, no matter what the commenters on the Star say. And so I then add diversity, which I never thought I would be able to say for myself. And it's very exciting because it's needed. We need people in religious settings. We need atheists to be vocal in religious settings, but not burning down the religion. And I've succeeded to my belief. But you have to have a take-home message because I only have 20 minutes. And baby steps is something I want to talk about just real quickly. I came into the position with a lot of things I wanted to do, a lot of things I thought I could change, a lot of things, structural problems that you want to see fixed at a university. And in any position like mine, you learn immediately that baby steps might be your only option. And so currently we're looking at constitution changes, and the current wording is to further Christian growth, which is a very non-inclusive phrase. And we've had a senator bring that up as to further faith and reason, which is very close to our university. It is our university mission statement, and it's inclusive to all religions, and even non-religion can find a place in that. And you can't believe the opposition, not so much that it's going to radically invite atheism, but you're taking away from Christianity somehow. And we're probably still going to have some Christian wording in that sentence, no matter how far you try to change that. But baby steps are a good thing, and you get used to it, and you need to accept that. You can't go in and expect massive changes to happen. This university is not going to drop all of its religious ties if somebody just radically tries to do it. But it will become more inviting through those baby steps. Someone won't like you, and this is, again, when you take on a representative position, you are supposed to be the voice, the face of a group of people, which I am for 2,200 people on this campus that are undergraduates. Someone won't like you. Someone will always not like what you're saying, what you're doing, what you look like. It doesn't matter. So like we went to the Creationist Museum. There are creationists at this school, not very many. And I know they're not happy, even though I know they've never talked to me about it. And but you got to accept it. If you try to please everyone, you will fail. But do the best you can to Be yourself. Don't shy away from who you are. I came in with a lot of goals, a lot of passions. I think leadership is based on how much passion you have and then turning it into something. And for me, that's not shying away from who you are. That first Facebook post that I had, and people immediately was telling me how wrong I was, my first reaction was, I screwed up. I need to stop saying these things. Maybe I can't post the things I want to post on Facebook anymore. That's wrong. Be yourself. Find a way to fit it in your environment. You can do it, and you can keep your values, you can keep your beliefs, and I think it's been a learning process, but I know I can do it in a position like this, and that means any of you can. So I want to thank you. That's all I got.